Welcome to all our viewers in the United States and around the world. I'm James Pierre, and welcome to another episode of The Talk with James Pierre. Today is special. We'll talk sports. We'll talk about everything else except TV. And as you can see, our special guest, Darryl, thank you so much for being here, my brother.
Thank you so much for having me, and welcome back to MDC-6.
Absolutely. Truly an honor. And thank you for being in Miami. Let's start first. You're not from Miami. Miami is home to you now. You're from another place. Tell me more about your childhood.
Absolutely. I was born in New Orleans, and then I was raised in Atlanta, Georgia. So I lived in New Orleans for a couple of years, 2 or 3 years of my life, and then my family decided it was time to move on to Atlanta. So I moved to Atlanta probably when I was like 3 or 4, and been there ever since.
I mean, you're more from Atlanta than New Orleans.
Yes, but the way my family is set up,
Yeah.
I have a lot of LSU family, a lot of New Orleans Saints family members who just love their Saints and their LSU. And me, I love them too, but I love my University of Georgia Bulldogs as well as my Atlanta Braves and my Atlanta Falcons. So it's tough whenever they play each other.
How was your life at an early age in Atlanta?
Early age, I would say, at first I thought everything was fine. My family, we were a Christian family. They raised me with a lot of morals, telling me, what's right and what's wrong at an early age. And they kind of got me exposed to news a little bit early, watching, Dan Rather, watching, some of those Tom Brokaw.
Yeah.
There was one that I really watched in Atlanta named Fred Blankenship. So I was really paying attention to news then. But once I got to school and once I, thought I was who I was, that's when things started turning a little bit when it came to peer pressure. People were, laughing at me because I didn't talk black or urban to them. And that was tough for me growing up because I was getting picked on a lot. I was getting bullied. And the beginning of my childhood was really rough, especially in middle school and the first couple of years in high school.
So how you dealt with it? Did you talk to your parents about it, your teachers? What was the process?
I dealt with it from within, which is the wrong way to go about it. I just, told myself, well, you know what, maybe they're right. Maybe I do need to fit in and do what they're doing. Wearing the tall tees, long T-shirts, and maybe sagging my pants, and that wasn't me. And I tried hard to fit in. I never really talked to my mom about it or anyone else. I just kept it from within. But my mom, or like a lot of moms out there, had that sense where it's like something's wrong with my baby.
Yeah.
Something's wrong, and she kind of knew, and she kind of had a sense for it as time went on.
No. So I wanted to go a little bit deeper. It wasn't only, you say something, I say something. The attacks were physical.
Yeah, absolutely. I would walk in the bathroom some days, I would get jumped. There were some days where, I'm not sure if you've heard of this, it's called the swirly, where they turn you upside down in the toilet and they put your head in the toilet and they flush it. I got that a lot. I got jumped almost every day. I was called so many names every single day. And it was, I was able to deal with it from within for a certain amount of time. But as a Coke bottle, once that pressure builds and once it pops off, it pops off.
Yeah.
And I had some negative thoughts about doing things to myself personally, and even thinking about going through with it, because I just couldn't deal with it anymore. I was just so tired. So it was tough until that one moment. I was my sophomore year in high school. This dude, it was in TV broadcasting class. This guy came to me and said a lot of derogatory names, he called me, and he said a lot of things to me.
The professor of the class?
Not the professor, the student. He was another day.
Yeah.
But this day was different. I kind of had enough.
Yeah.
And so he came behind me, sucker punched me, and they always did that to me, always hit me something, and that day I had enough. And I grabbed him, in a chokehold, and I was just crying. And that's when I got suspended. My mom came. I'll never forget this. It was early in the morning. She came back with the curls in her head. And she said, "We're moving. You don't need to be here anymore." I could tell from the get-go something's not right. And we didn't have a lot of money. But she said, we're going to roll up as much money as we can and get out of here.
So you moved from Atlanta or from the school to another school?
From school to another school. So from Atlanta, the suburban area, I was in Jonesboro, Georgia. And so I went from there to Fayetteville, Georgia. And I went to Whitewater High School. And that was a big change and made a big turnaround for me in my life. And really finding out who I was and who I am. Because that's the biggest thing. When you're growing up, trying to find out who is Darryl Forges. Who am I? Because you have a lot of different people telling you who you are, but yet it's up to you to figure out who you really are, and for you to internally be at peace with that.
So is it fair to say that your childhood at least was very tough and you had to move from places to places? You talk a lot about your mother. Who is that wonderful woman?
Karen Langston. I have a wonderful family. My mom, Karen Langston, my dad, Kevin Langston. They gave me so much of love. Me and my brothers and sisters. I'm the oldest of four, and we grew up, I said, in a church home, so they gave us this positivity. My dad would always tell me, son, the Bible says, a man thinketh, so is he. So if you think you're this, that's what you're going to be. So you have to turn around and think positive about it. So when I'm home, I felt good because my parents gave me that love and that warmth that I needed.
Yeah.
But when I went to school, I felt like an outcast, like a different person.
Yeah.
And it's a lot easier said than done. When you're older now, hey, tell the kids don't worry about the naysayers. But when you're in that situation and you're around your peers and they want you to do things you don't want to do, it's tough.
Yeah. So you had that support system at home, your
Yes.
parents, your mother especially. How she dealt with all of that, the struggle in your life?
There were a couple times where there's one definitely moment I remember where we almost got evicted from our home. We were I remember we're at the courthouse and they said, we're going to evict you from your home. And I get my resilience and I get my positivity from my mother. She somehow makes a way out of no way.
Wow.
But growing up, seeing your mom and dad, you think you know everything.
Yes. Yeah.
So I saw that. I put it in the back of my brain, but I never really put it to the forefront until I got older, to really appreciate how amazing her and my father really are. They say, hey, you're not going to understand it until you get older. You're like, oh, whatever, I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yet I didn't. And now looking back, it's like, wow, the things they're able to deal with, and a lot of things I probably don't even know to this day that they had to deal with. It's amazing. It speaks volumes, and that's where I get my strength from every single day.
Absolutely. Darryl, stay with us. We have to take a commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk sports with Darryl. Don't miss it. We'll be right back.
Start your story at MDC. Be analytical. Be imaginative. Be a rising star. Be bold. Be connected. Be the solution. Be ready. What's your story? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Welcome back to our second segment. Joining us still, Darryl Forges. We talk about a lot about your childhood. Now I want to take our viewers to something very important that happened to you that changed your life. And it's like you said, I can't do it. I'm going to show you that I will do it. Somebody said to you, you are not fit to be a journalist. You're not fit to be a reporter. You're at NBC6 now.
Isn't it amazing how things work? I went to the University of West Georgia in Carrollton, Georgia. Go West, go Wolves.
Yeah.
I went there and I was heavily involved in a lot of great things for the school. And in my mind, I was like, I'm going to make it. I'm doing a lot in school. People love me. I'm going to be fine. And then once I graduated, it's just like a ton of bricks just hit me. And as soon as I sent my stuff to these news directors, hey, I want to, work for your station, I got a lot of no's. People said, oh, you talk too fast. You don't have the look. You're rough around the edges. Do you want to work in sales? Do you want to work in another department in news?
Yeah.
News is just not for you. And I think I applied to probably about 25, almost 30 news stations and got predominantly all no's. I went to one interview where I thought it was a TV interview, but come to find out, he said, yeah, I changed my mind. I want you to do sales. And I was like, that's not what I want to do.
No, that's not what I want to do. I want to do something else.
Absolutely. And I got one opportunity. One of my friends from University of West Georgia, she was working at a station in Montgomery that I was really close with named Catalina Trevino. And she said, hey, we have a position here at the station. Do you want it? Talk to the news director. Marsha will give it to you. And once I got that opportunity, doors just opened.
As a reporter, you started there? Or?
Yes, as a reporter, I started in Montgomery, Alabama, working for the station there, WAKA WNCF. And just doors just started opening. But I got depressed for a while, though, before I got into that station, because I got a lot of no's. There were some nights I cried. You know, your biggest goal is, I don't want to go back home to mom.
Yeah.
But, you know, after college, when I graduated, I want to go straight into the workforce. But it took me 6 to 8 months to get a job. And it was hard.
What did you do to, you know, to forget about this tough time and say, you know what, I want to keep going because that's my passion. That's what I like to do. That's my life, literally.
My mom, my family, me and my immediate family were very close. We're very, very close. So my mom gave me the utmost encouragement. Again, that sense from mothers, knowing something's not right. And she saw my demeanor every now and then, and she kind of knew I wasn't happy, and because I wasn't getting anything at the time, and I was at home. And so her and my dad just continued to encourage me and help me. My brother, who I'm really close to, plays baseball. I played baseball myself, and that was keeping me busy to get my mind off of it. But my family, if it wasn't for them just encouraging me, I wouldn't be sitting with you, being blessed to talk with you today. I wouldn't be here. So it's just a blessing that my family is the main reason why I'm here, and really kept me sane for the most part.
So you went from places to places. We are blessed to have you in Miami for NBC6. How you connect with the community? It's a mosaic of culture here in South Florida. You have the Haitian community, the Cuban community. I mean, so many communities. Russian community, right? So how you connect with these communities?
You know what? When I first got here, I was overwhelmed at first because it was completely new environment for me, completely new market. You know, very, very fast paced, a lot going on, dealing with that. But then also, you know, going to Little Havana, Hialeah, Little Haiti, Sunny Isles Beach, you know, learning these new cultures, these new way of thinking. It was hard. So what I did was I decided that on the weekends, I would just ingrain myself in those cultures. So one weekend I'd go to Little Haiti. One weekend I go to Wynwood. One weekend I go to Little Havana and go to Versailles and get some cafecito, which has been the best discovery since I have been here.
Oh, no, don't say that. My producer is Cuban, man. If you say, oh, Michael, I know you're going crazy right now over your cafecito.
That changed my life.
No, colada is something that we use a lot, you know, behind the scene to go up when we go up front.
Especially me, get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Every day. So yeah, but ingraining myself in the culture and just learning from the Venezuelans, the Cubans, the Puerto Ricans, and everyone, it's been amazing. So when I see people, I kind of now get the idea of, okay, that's how your community works. That's how your culture works. So when I go and do a story there, you know, I try to just make sure I know how they operate, because if I go about things the wrong way, I may not be able to get that story.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. And South Florida is a learning experience on a daily basis, right? As you say, for so many communities. You did a wonderful job covering the hurricanes, Irma and Maria, and I know you still on the field as well, doing several stories early in the morning at NBC6, which I encourage our viewers to watch you as well. Let's go from the news, because I want to take you out of that.
Just a little bit.
So we'll go back to your habits. I believe that cooking is one of them. So are you what? You're learning how to cook Caribbean food, or you sticking to food from New Orleans?
You know, that's my next
have
big
you been
challenge.
cooking anything, or is it like, you know, gotta call the firefighters in the house because something else is happening?
Well, you know, right now I keep it basic because with my shift I could easily, you know, gain a lot of weight because you could eat a lot during this morning shift. So what I've done is I've just keep it basic with the meal preps every weekend. So I'll do like, you know, rice, chicken, grilled chicken, salmon, stuff like that. And then now I'm trying to like learn jerk chicken, which I know someone said that it's a specialty to do. So I'm trying to learn jerk chicken, all that stuff. But I love to fry fish.
That's the Jamaican community, man. I mean, they are good at that. Jerk chicken?
I went to one restaurant. It's called what is it called? Clive's. It's oh my goodness.
Yeah, they are good at that.
Oh my gosh. So
really good.
I'm learning. I'm learning the cultures here, how everyone cooks their meals. So,
South Florida, we need to give him a class.
Teach me.
Get ready for Darryl.
Help me out.
Darryl, let's take another break. When we come back, we'll talk about something else you don't want to miss. We'll be right back.
story at MDC. Be analytical. Be imaginative. Be a rising star. Be bold. Be connected. Be the solution. Be ready. What's your story? Be the best. Be you. Be MDC.
Welcome back to our last segment, the segment you don't want to miss. Our guest is Darryl Forges. Darryl, now we're not talking about TV. We're not talking about New Orleans. I don't know if we still have to talk about Atlanta, but let's talk about social media.
Yes.
You have a pretty huge followers on social media, and you stay active in on Instagram, other platform as well. Why do you think it's important for you to stay connected with your audience?
Because I feel like that is, everyone says that's the wave of the future. I believe it's the now. That's what people care about the most, when it comes to what's going on in news. I mean, nowadays you don't have anyone, well, unless it's the older generation, that says, hey, look, I'm gonna wait till 6 o'clock to watch the news. Everyone has their stuff on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And by the way, follow me if you can. So I think it's important to connect with the viewers when it comes to the news of the day, especially in the morning when you have a lot going on. You want to keep them up to date on what's going on, reach out to them when it comes to that. But it's also interesting because a lot of viewers also want to see my personal side. They want to see, what does Darryl do when he's not in front of the camera? So where's Darryl going on vacation, or where's Darryl and his family? So I'll post pictures of my family, or post some other pictures, just kind of showing, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is what I've won, this is what I do. But I love, posting what I do in the community, because I think that is very important for people to know that not only am I here to give you the news, but I'm also a servant to you, to the community. I'm giving you the news, but I'm also hands-on, trying to do what I can to help our future journalists, children that may be struggling at home and may have an issue, or kids that live like I did, bullied in school. I'm a big proponent in that. And, talking to young people, letting them know, hey, this is my story, the story I gave you earlier. I try to spread my story as much as I can, whether it's through social media or word of mouth. Let people know this is my story. If I can do it, you can do it.
What a good way to motivate others to share your story with them so they know. How do they respond to that? I know that's in South Florida, so many are related to your story.
Absolutely. At first I had to get comfortable telling my story. Now I am, and it's amazing when you have students who come up to you and say, Darryl, it really resonated with me, because it may not have hurt me, but I have a family member who went through what you went through, or whatever. And just hearing, if it's a crowd of 25, 35, 100 people, just getting to one person, that means the world to me. That means that I'm making some type of impact on someone's life.
It's a winning. So on your free time, besides social media, cooking, something else you do, you're passionate about sports.
I love sports. I play baseball. I'm a big Falcons fan. Rise up. I love University of Georgia.
You still
Bulldogs.
playing?
I wish. No, my brother's actually playing college baseball now at my alma mater, which is awesome. So I'm still following him and seeing how he's doing. So I love sports. I love it. On Saturdays and Sundays, that's for either my dog, or college football, or the NFL. One of the three. And sometimes she may not get all the attention, my dog. So sometimes I have to pay attention to the college. Hey, look, stop. This game's going on. Leave me alone.
And then they're like, okay, fine. Well, I'll leave you alone. Talking about NFL, we know, it's major news about NFL now, especially about Take a Knee. With the president, made a statement, and now they're responding it. What is your take on all of that?
Well, my thing is that I think that it's important that we all respect each other's opinions. I think that's the thing that really blows my mind is back in the 80s, back when Tip O'Neill was the House Speaker, and he would, even though he wasn't for the other side, what they were about, he compromised. Hey, let's have a compromise. Let's reach an agreement. Or even if they hadn't completely disagreements with something, they had a beer at the end of the day. They talked with each other. They had that, we agreed to disagree. Now compromise is a curse word. We don't compromise anymore. I think it starts from the top, from our leaders in Congress and the Senate, and it trickles on down. When you all don't want to work with each other, it kind of has an effect on us too. So I feel like when it comes to that, you have people who say, you know what, this flag means something to me in this aspect, in the military or whatever. And then you have some people on the other side that say, well, this flag means this to me as a black man in America, or as a man or woman of color in America. I think that we have to respect where each other are and not say, well, you're the demon, or you're wrong, you're being disrespectful. We have to agree to disagree. And if we can't do that in America, the land of the free, the home of the brave, then what did our forefathers really fight for? You know what I mean? What are those people who came aboard from that ship to come and they fought for the civil rights movement, all that stuff? What did they really fight for? At the end of the day, we have to have some type of agree to disagree and just leave it at that.
I'm from Haiti. I'm Haitian. You African American.
Yes, sir.
How do you see yourself as a young professional African American living in the United States now with everything that's going on around the country?
You know what? I feel when it comes to it, it's tough because I have a big support group. I mean, people that follow me, that went to college with, high school, whatever, like they support me, black or white. And I try not to even think about race when I go out and walk about in the streets. But sometimes I have been a victim of that. I have been a victim of racial profiling. Before I even open up my mouth, people look at me as a certain way until I come out and say, hello, my name is Darryl Forges, nice to meet you. Oh, we didn't know you talk like that. Where did that come from? So I'm automatically profiled by people already. So I believe that as an African American in this country, it is tough, it is difficult because there is this box you're put into, but you have to break out of it. I watched my mom and my dad, the way they carried themselves, and I'm a believer in what's meant to be is up to me. If it's meant to be, it is up to you to decide. No matter what those barriers are, fight through it. Even if that door is just barely cracked open, bust through it, because you never know what's going to happen.
I know you have a special message for anybody dealing with attacks, whether in school, at home, on the streets, being bullied. What is it you will tell these young folks? What is it they have to do to overcome that?
I know it's a lot easier said than done, but talk to somebody. Talk to somebody. And nowadays it's even worse now with cyberbullying. And I think that it's important to talk to somebody. You know, if you don't want to talk to your mom or dad because you feel like you're going to be persecuted, whatever, talk to your counselor. Talk to somebody. Because I'm telling you, from personal experience, you don't want to have it bottled in and held in. Because once that bottle pops off, it's going to be a big problem. Talk to somebody about your issues because it's really going to affect you in the long run. And then plus, you'll feel good about it. And then down the road, when you're doing great and doing some great things because you fought that depression, that bullying or whatever, those people are going to come to you and say, hey, how's it going? I miss you. But hey, you know what? You're the same person that put my head in a swirly, that tried to fight me, jump me every single day, and now you want to be my friend because I'm doing well.
Wow. Darryl, thank you so much for being here. It's truly an honor having you, man. I know that we have to keep going with that conversation. I hope that next show we can have you again so we can talk more about motivation and how to be somebody, respect others, but also have your true identity.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm whenever you want me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
And thank you to you as well for watching that special on MDC-TV. My name is James Pierre. We'll see you next time.